Yeah.
Oh, well, listen, you usually lead off, so I was like, okay, I'll let him lead off.
No. I wanted to see if you like thought I was like glitching out or like freezing. Like,
Oh, okay,
oh,
okay.
welcome to the Wrinkled podcast, folks. Episode 4.
Episode 4.
It's a good day. The Last of Us premiere. Just kidding. The Last of Us finales today,
Mm-hmm.
and that's probably gonna rip more hearts out and stomp on them, and
Oh,
send them
absolutely.
send them to the shadow realm. So get ready for that, folks, because I'm prepping. And if you
Guess what?
haven't already, and you want to see more of this podcasty goodness, where we talk about anime and wealth and health, caffeine, Chipotle,
All kinds of media, all kinds of
hearts,
content.
and farts, and everything in between.
Yeah, especially the last one.
That's right. Subscribe. Ugh.
Hey,
Jam it.
man. Yeah,
Pump it.
smack it.
That's right. Slap it. Show it who's boss.
It's been a bad button.
That's right. Go down in the comments and tell me what you did to that button.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, hey, man.
Oh, man. So, like I said, Last of Us season finale is
Yes.
coming out. So I assume after today you're going to go through and like binge the first season.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, I figured I was so out of it for, since it's been this long, 9 weeks or whatever. Today, I was like, you know what? I just do what I did kind of with like Rings of Power, just run through it in like a day or two, get caught up, get excited for the next season, because I believe they already announced the second season, right?
Yeah, I think they announced it after episode like 2. Or
Oh, yeah,
it
that
might have been the first one.
did. I listen, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
The way that it just exploded off the map, I honestly do not doubt it. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so good. It really is. I'm so
oh,
excited. Even knowing what happens, because
Mhm.
obviously like we've played the game, it is no less exciting
No,
at all. It,
like I said, I think they're doing a good job of like bridging that medium finally, like I said, we are talking about a little earlier, like with the Sonic movies, things like that. Um, they're taking something and they're applying the tone that needs to be applied. Like I said, with something like Last of Us, that's super serious. Has a very dark undertone, but like I guess lighter elements on top. Like I said, they're taking what needs to be in there and they're just putting it in there. They're not trying to add more to it. They're not trying to take away from it. There's no detraction. It's just
Right.
strictly, hey, we're building up off what we know is good and is going to continue to be good. You know, we're making it more of what it should be. And like I said, it's easier now, I think, to apply that because I mean, games are huge.
Right.
They're massive in terms of scope and quality and things like that. So to have something like that, um, like I said, either a first or second episode renewal of a season, like they saw the numbers and they go, "We got to do this again." You know,
Right.
Like I said, that's why I'm excited for the Fallout series that's coming from Amazon. I think that'll be
Ooh,
great.
that could be cool.
Yeah, because I saw there's like a couple. I don't know if they're leak set photos or if they're just kind of like showing them off on Twitter or whatever. But I saw a couple of set photos from there. It looks amazing. It looks fantastic. Like I can't wait. That's one of the ones I'm just like, if that works, I could see that being like a very long running thing.
Mhm.
If it doesn't work, I mean, back to the drawing board type thing. But again, like something like Last of Us, it works a little bit better because it's easier to kind of like have not necessarily pity, but like feel sadder and feel like, more.
Like connected and kind of empathize with the characters.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's a little more grounded.
Mhm.
And I love how well they're able to capture, because you'd like to think if there was some sort of zombie outbreak that all the humans would be peaceful and come together and survive.
Yeah.
When in
Working together.
reality,
Absolutely not.
the people would be more dangerous than the zombies, and they
Mhm.
capture that perfectly. It's like, yeah, these zombies are out there, but we kind of know how to avoid them now. But the
Exactly.
people, the cannibals out there, the crazies, like that's who you have to watch out for. And that's realistic because if
Mhm.
something goes off, people are going to go crazy. They're going to
Yeah.
be looting, yeah. So that they're doing a really good job of that. And
And
oh, go ahead.
oh no, I'll let you finish.
I was just saying it's another reason, like, every, waking up and be like, man, what a great time to be alive.
Yeah.
Video game adaptations are becoming good.
Hmm.
Because the whole thought off of this, I was talking to Abby last night, and she watched some of the Resident Evil 4 remake demo. Like, I
Oh
hopped into the
yeah.
demo.
Hmm.
It looks amazing. I didn't play the first one, but I watched my brother play it
Oh,
because
okay,
I was
okay.
a little too young.
Yeah.
Just it was too complicated.
Hmm.
And so I watched him play. Now hopping in, I'm like, wow, this is insane. It captures that like anxiety of, oh man, it's dark. You don't know what's going to be around the corner.
Yeah. You're alone,
Right.
you're on a
And
foreign island.
yeah, and she loves watching that stuff while I play it. But then she's like, why aren't the movies this good? Why can't they make like a good? I'm like, yeah, it sucks because like for a long time, or like the Mortal Kombat movies, even the new one,
Mhm.
it seems just very hit or miss for a long time whether they were able to capture good video games into media.
Yeah.
And finally, you know, certain companies, certain studios are able to hit on like, okay, here's a solid plan. We know what works for the game that's easily translatable
Mhm.
into a show or a movie, and we can add a few little elements to ground it a little more, and it's going to work. So I'm super happy with how things are.
Yeah. I think specifically with Resident Evil, um, like the live action movies they did, like the first one's amazing with Mia Jovovich and um
Is that the
like
that's where she wakes up with amnesia?
yes.
Okay,
And
that one's decent.
yes. Everything after that kind of just
Yeah.
goes down the hill.
Yeah.
Because the thing with Resident Evil is that the camp factor just it goes up every single movie and every single game. Like the first game, it's like you're in a mansion, there's like zombies around, like it's a little scary. It's like, okay, like it's possible, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some realism here. The second game, it's like, oh, there's a bioorganic weapon who's chasing you around the entire map, the whole entire game. You're just like, okay, well, if I really was a threat, which I seem to be, that kind of makes sense. And the third one's just like now we're just off the wall with all this stuff that's happening.
Right. And the
It's the
fourth
same
one
thing with
even
the
goes
movies.
harder.
Yeah. And the fourth one, you can explain like at least somewhat like, oh, again, a small foreign island, expose these people to the plague, or that's what they call the Las Plagas.
Hmm.
Expose them to this, turn them into whatever. You can ship them off, send them to do whatever. You kind of have weapons of war here. Um, and then after that, it just gets ridiculous. Like you're punching boulders, you're running off, or like you're uh, in Resident Evil 6, you end up like not zip lining, but like you have a uh, uh, kind of zip lining. Not really. You're like hanging off the side of a skyscraper, like shooting a big like zombie spider. Essentially, I'm just like, now we're past the point of no return with this. And the movies
Right.
do the same thing. Is like they up the factor, they up like how much you can put on screen and like the stuff that's going on. Like I think one of them you end up fighting like two of the tyrants at the same time, which are like these big like 10 or 12 feet tall like BOWs, bioorganic weapons, and they
Yep.
just like they're chasing around like London or something like that. I'm just
And
like,
then they give what's her name, the main character for the movies, like they give her like telekinesis and she's
yeah,
able to do all that. It's like that's cool in a vacuum in an action sequence,
yeah,
but
yeah.
in the realm of this like movie set of this
Mhm.
universe, it's like what? Well, okay, so we're just making her a Jedi then, like
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much. Like it really just they start adding whatever and just again taking liberties that don't need to be taken.
Right.
You stick to the original. You make a good zombie movie
Mhm.
based off a franchise that already had a good zombie game and games. But
Right.
no, like I said, you have to add the extra stuff. You have to add these characters that don't exist. You have to have these things that don't exist. And this is a conversation I had with somebody about Watchmen, um,
Oh, okay.
the movie, the live action movie.
Oh. Oh my.
It's very good, but initially, I think upon release, it wasn't taken as well. I think now, as kind of with some things, we tend to look back on it like it more favorably.
Mhm.
Um, but remember, not everything translates well to certain mediums.
Right.
Like you have books or movies based off books. People are always going to prefer the books. Some people are always going to prefer the movies. It might not translate well. Specifically, very like small, minute things in the book or in the movie or whatever. And that's fine. But like to just completely devoid of like any similarity or something like that. I'm like, that's kind of garbage, you know.
Right.
You're just taking the best part of it and removing it
Yeah.
from, you know,
You're
from the system.
you're using the foundation of a great idea to then push your own ideas, and
Exactly.
it's like, wait a minute, this could have been great, but you just turned it
Mhm.
into garbage. So
Yes.
yeah, it really sucks. But again, nowadays things are looking up. Things are, you know, translating a little better. I mean,
Yeah.
even with like the Sonic movies. Like first all,
Oh,
you know,
they're great.
they had the character redesign, listen to the audience, which I think just scored them so many brownie points.
Yeah.
And again, they're goofy. They're exactly what Sonic should be.
Mhm.
You know, it's not, oh, let's make these Sonic movies super dark and whatnot, which I
Yeah.
mean could also be cool, but
Yeah.
there's no need to dive into something new like that when you're just testing the waters.
Hey man, I want a Sonic Unleashed movie where he's a werehog.
Listen, give me a Shadow the Hedgehog movie. That game was
Okay, you know, quick note to you when you're editing this. When you say, "Oh, I want a Shadow the Hedgehog movie," take the opening cutscene from the Shadow the Hedgehog game where he's has a fully automatic rifle and he cocks it like a shotgun. I want you to plaster that image over this, okay?
dude,
Because
that game
I want you to.
was so much fun,
Oh, it was so bad though.
but
It
it
was
was
so bad.
so good. Like, of course, it didn't make any sense at all in terms of like Sonic, but it was so just.
Yeah,
I'm super speedy and I've got guns everywhere. Like,
yeah. And like I like you got like multiple choices, like you can kind of have different endings and stuff. I think there's like 9 different endings in the game or something like that. You know, it's just it's super unique for what it was. It's just funny,
right.
like kind of how we talk about it. Like Sonic has never been a serious character. Shadow's just kind of been like a kind of like off to the side, like kind of like more of a brooding guy. And they give him his own game. He's like super violent with like guns and stuff like that. I'm just like, man, this is kind of way out of left field with this, but hey, if it works, it works. And you know, I think it's one of
Uh,
those games that we look back on as like a cult classic type thing,
yeah.
like hashtag Glover. I love
Yep.
Glover, certified Glover boy.
It's like, was it great? No. But was it fun to play? Absolutely.
Like Gex the Gecko.
What? Gex the Gecko.
Hey, okay, when they edit it, just put it.
Oh man. Yeah, it's like I said, things are turning around and
Yes.
it's going great. So yeah, I'm excited for that new episode. Probably watch it tonight.
What
So
what we need more of is video game adaptations of good TV shows and good movies. You know, because
yeah.
I think of like Game of Thrones, which had I think it had like
Ooh.
a Telltale game, you know, like one of those like
Mhm.
choose your own adventure or whatever. But as we know, with Game of Thrones, it's always going to lead to the same outcome.
Right.
Um,
I think
it just
it'd be cool if they did a Game of Thrones. I feel like they could go either way. They could do like just a linear story driven play through
mhm.
everything, or kind of an RPG where depending on your choices, you could either become like part of the Night's Watch or no, the what is it, the Black Watch on the wall.
Yeah, that's a Night's Watch.
Yeah, Night's Watch. Or if you took the right path, you could become part of. You could become king.
Kingsguard or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
no, listen, I'm
that would
all
be
for
so
it.
cool.
You know, like I said, that those books have such a rich history. I'm so surprised that they have never like went in on that. You know,
I
like I felt like that is something that could be so good,
right.
yet kind of just falls behind the wayside. I'm like, man, there's so much potential here.
Watch, give
So
it 2 years. They're gonna announce it at like E3 or something,
I listen, man,
and then I'm gonna push this clip again in 2 years and be like, "Listen, called
and
it."
get the views.
Yep, that's right.
Smart.
Recapture, recycle, and recapture.
The one thing I'm waiting on, again, just a quick little note of video game or movie adaptations is the Metal Gear Solid movie.
Oh, that could be cool. Yeah, and that's for the most part grounded esque. Certain parts.
mm, I would say I would say 80% of that game is like semi-grounded. Everything else is
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
okay, all right.
It's got that element of like, oh, I could see that, and then the other part's just like, oh, huh?
Yes. We got Mr. Jordan Voight Roberts, who directed Skull Island, the King Kong movie back in 2017. He's attached to that.
I love that
Uh,
movie.
It's great. It's one of my favorite like MonsterVerse films.
Right.
Like I said,
Their
OG
design for
King
Kong
Kong,
is just
yeah,
great.
spot on.
Yep.
But he's attached to that. Oscar Isaac is attached to supposedly play Snake, which I'm 100% in on. So
Oscar Isaac.
like, I'm just
Is
waiting for
that
it at this
Poe?
time. Yeah, Poe Dameron,
Oh, so good.
Poe, Moon
Oh,
Knight. Yeah.
I loved him in Dune playing the dad,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the head of the family.
yeah,
It's like Atreus or something.
yeah. Hey man,
Um,
that's something else.
hey, I know what that is, but their family name sounds something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, Arrakis is the planet, but
Right. Head.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it is Atreus.
You might be right.
Yeah.
I've it's
I,
been so long since I watched that movie.
something like that. But he did a really good job in that.
Yeah, he's great, man. Like I said, he's one of my favorite actors right now. Um, like I said, I would love to see him in this Metal Gear Solid movie. I have a I have a favorited tweet on Twitter that has been in my favorites for like 3 years now of somebody who did fan art of him as Snake, and I'm just like, I was sold immediately as soon as I saw it. It's just, I'm
Damn.
in there.
It's like one of
So
those where they put like Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan
yeah,
with both the
exactly,
lightsabers. It's
literally
like,
just
yep,
like that. Yes, just like that. I'm
awesome.
like, dude,
Yeah,
I'm in there, man. So
that could be really good. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, the future is bright. I'm
absolutely.
I'm excited, and
So,
yeah, I'm
I,
ready.
yeah, I think we got a good couple of years ahead of us of some good movies, some good games, things like that, and some good TV shows about games and movies. So
Yeah, I mean, I saw a statistic a while back. Doesn't the video game industry generate more than both like movie and I couldn't remember what the second one was, whether it was like written media or the music industry. It was two giants together, and the
yeah,
gaming
yeah,
industry brought in more than both.
hmm,
And it was just insane because we know how much games cost and how much system
yeah,
costs and how much they bring in, but it's something you don't really think about. But it's just like, wow, okay, now it kind of makes sense.
yeah. Because my favorite thing to talk about, especially concerning like sales of media, is like how long did it take for Avengers Endgame to hit $2 billion? Like 3 months
Hmm.
or something like that, like a little less than, or maybe a little more. I don't remember specifically. How long did it take for GTA 5 to hit $2 billion?
Probably like,
It was like 2 weeks.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to be fair, it's like $60. And,
Mhm.
at that point, like how many, because what it released October of 2013 or whatever, how many Xbox 360s were, people bought, how many PS3s, things like that. Like, I know the number's massive, but like, that's the difference is, you know, and we seen it with Epic. We see their microtransaction sales. We see them hit they were making like 3 billion a year or something like that from like
Mhm.
20 like late 2017 or 20 middle 2018 to like 2020 or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Even EA with the FIFA games, I know they dropped a
Oh,
number.
dude.
How much is brought in just from the microtransactions in those? It's like,
Yeah, it's
holy.
insane. You know,
Yeah.
like it's insane. So like I said, the medium is there. It just I know the development and things like that. Like that's where I think the line draws for a lot of people is, oh, I could make a movie in 6 months, have it edited in 4 months, and be out in less than a year.
Mhm.
A game that's going to take at least 3 to 4 years, depending on what you're making.
Right.
If it's something big and grandiose, then like yeah, you're looking at a long time. So I think that's mainly the difference when you look at um like why people don't tend to like push games as much or things like that. Because again, just the turnaround is just so high, and it's
Yeah.
I know that's the big limiting factor.
Yeah, and it really sucks when you get an unfinished product,
Hmm.
in gaming. It's like, if this just had another 6 months, a year in the oven with
Yeah.
a little more time to just polish it up, it would have came out great. So
Yeah.
you always gotta hate that crunch.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Shit's awful.
yeah. Uh, so I'm curious, just because, like I said, this has been on my head for a while.
Hmm.
When you think about like long term, your life, like the next 30 years,
Hmm.
do you plan on working like a 9 to 5, or is that something that you want? Is like doing that, like that standard, like that typical, like, oh, work until you're this age and then retire, and
Yeah, yeah. Um, oh man, because I think deep down, like no,
Mhm.
you know, um, like I don't ever want to work until like I only have a couple years left. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But also like I'm kind of not a realist, but I kind of understand how the world is. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? The world doesn't favor people like you and me when it comes to like financial equality. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I said, we're not billionaires, we're not millionaires. You know, we have to work for our living. We earn a living. You know, um, like I said, no matter how it's done, which is even ridiculous to say, like, oh, earn a living. Like I have to do something to be alive. You know,
I have to
to
work
me,
to
that's
feed
just
myself. Yeah.
exactly, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, again, somebody's gonna get a hold of this and fucking flame the shit out of me in the comments, whatever, and that's fine. But I said the fact that that word or that phrase even exists, earn a living, is ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Because in reality, you know, we should be. If you just want to be an artist, to be an artist. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If you want to be, you know, if you want to make something, or if you want to, you know, provide to society or something like that, you should be able to do that without fear or uh, worry about like my financial
Mhm.
stability. You know,
Right.
can I eat today? Can I pay rent this week? Can I, go see my mom? Can I take time out? Even the small things like that, like to take time off to see a loved one. They want excuses out the ass. They want all this stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like I said,
Oh,
why
what?
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep going.
why is it so acceptable for this to be a thing? Like it's just it boggles my mind. Like I
Mhm.
said, I that's something I never understood. Like I said, I'm a supervisor at my job. I don't ask questions about stuff like that. You want time off? You're getting approved almost right away.
Right.
You know, I don't sit there and go, yeah, but what is it for? You know, I don't worry about your call offs. If you got the PTO to cover your call off, you're good.
Mhm.
You know the rules beyond that. Like I said, I'm not busting nobody's chops about this kind of stuff. You know, because
Yeah.
like I said, I know that's the last thing I want you guys to worry about is oh, when I go to work today, are they going to talk to me about this? Are they going to talk to me about that? Or why do I need the time off? It's like, no. Like I said, the only thing I ask is to put it in within a reasonable amount of time. As soon as you know, at least,
Right.
that's the only thing I ask. If you found out, hey, I got to be here in 3 weeks, put it in that day. That way I can look for somebody or I can approach the situation and be like, okay, yeah, I get somebody for this day. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, take it off. You
Right.
know, like I said, it's just one small thing, but that stuff adds up, you know,
Yeah.
and God, yeah. Like I said, it would be nice to just up and retire and I can, you know, retire in the South and start my farm and have my land and whatever the case is. But like I said, the way everything is, like, you know, how much I gonna have to pay for this kind of stuff, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. I
Like,
know. I've been kind of going back and forth because I feel like we probably were raised hearing the same thing, like, oh, invest in a retirement account, work
mhm,
until you're 65 or
yeah,
70 or whatever, and then, live off that. It's kind of the general, like, find a 9 to 5, job loyalty, all that.
yeah,
And nowadays, it's kind of like I'm still contributing to a 401k because my job has a
yeah,
match. So
yeah, me too.
it'd be dumb not to.
Mhm,
But at the same time, it's almost like I don't want to. I really don't want to work until I'm 65.
no,
Mandatory. I don't want it to be like, I'm 65 or 62, whatever, getting out of bed being like, I have to go to work or I won't survive. That sort of, you know?
yeah,
And so it's been tough. Like, okay, should I stop contributing and, save all my money right now and then buy a rental property and get that
mhm,
started?
yeah,
Or, try to start a business, something like that. It's been a kind of a juggling act of like, which one should I do? Should I do both? Which one do I
yeah,
give more attention to nowadays? So I feel like it's tough kind of knowing what the right path is.
yeah,
And yeah, it's been challenging because again, like I want to own rental properties and I want to have that
mhm,
option because, you know, it's a nice alternative to both generate um generational like wealth
Yeah.
while also bringing in like actual cash flow.
Hmm.
It's not like, oh, I
That
have all this that's worth a
yes.
bunch of money, but no, I have this and it brings in monthly income type stuff.
Yeah. Passive income. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You're doing minimal, you know what I'm saying, like upkeep and maintenance, whatever, like obviously that's required,
Right.
but you're doing like minimal in terms of like work and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. But guess what? How many, how many businesses or not businesses, how many apartment complexes and how many houses or like these companies, these corporations buying up,
Yeah.
you know?
It's
Like I
crazy.
said,
Like
it's
BlackRock
ridiculous.
and Zillow and yeah.
Yeah, Airbnb, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just buying up all the properties that and they're putting them up for like, oh, rent a room for $500 a day. I'm
Mhm.
like, dude, I'd rather just go to a hotel,
Right.
you know?
Have you seen
Like I
that
said,
states and some cities have started banning Airbnb because it's taking
yes,
away income from
yes.
the city or the state?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm I'm a little surprised, but it also kind of makes sense. Um,
Because
oh,
if nobody can live there, then where does the money go into the city?
right. And if
People are moving
you're
to these far out, you know, 30 miles outside the city because guess what? Land is cheap, houses are cheap, rent's cheap. Yeah, I might have to pay more for my utilities, where the case is, but that is way less than what I'm paying for a city,
right.
right in the smack dab middle of a nice, like we live in Sacramento, you know,
Mhm.
so we have a nice downtown area. You're looking at rent down there, you're looking at $2,700.
For like a studio. Yeah.
No, for some homeless guy to yell at you, which again is a whole other issue. And like I said, as somebody who's been face to face with a lot of homeless people, like, I'm a very large man. It doesn't really scare me that much. But when people see that, they go, I don't want to do that. I don't want to live here. Why would I want to be next to this?
Mhm.
Like you said, there's other things impacting, the flow of money into a city. But like when you see how much small things add up to become the big thing, then you start to understand, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
um,
I
like I
know
said, it's crazy.
I one thing I don't understand, except in the case, you know how there's, landlords who are just like assholes,
Yeah.
or they'll unnecessarily raise the rent every like month because they're
Hmm.
greedy, whatever.
Yeah.
That I understand. But this, I feel like there's like a group or a movement that just hate everything related to rent. Like I see a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, your rent is paying off somebody else's mortgage, blah blah blah." I've never really understood the hatred for that because, well, do you complain when you rent a hotel room for a day? Or
Yeah.
when you go eat at a restaurant, you don't think the cost of your food is incorporating the space that you're using while you sit there and eat?
Mhm.
Because the person who bought that house assumed all the risk by buying it.
Yes.
So when you go in and rent it, whether you're on a lease or not, you have little to no risk. Now, yeah, if you sign a contract like a lease in 1 year and maybe you lose your job, okay, fine.
Mhm.
But let's say you're on month to month, you have no risk. You can leave at any point, and your house is taken care of because you're not the owner.
Mhm.
If anything needs upgrading and whatnot. And so I've never really understood where all the hatred of like, you're upset. Yeah, you are paying off somebody else's mortgage, but they put up that huge amount of risk.
Yeah.
So, like where does that, I feel like there's a disconnect in understanding how any renting anything works. Like, yeah, you're paying for somewhere to live. That's not a waste. Just because it might not go where you want it to
Yeah.
doesn't make it a waste. You're still providing yourself with a place to live. So, I don't know, maybe you've got a different outlook or perspective on that.
And here's the thing. Like I said, these things weren't a problem 20, 30 years ago when rent was manageable,
Mhm.
when income to rent ratio, because what is it? You're not supposed to spend like more than like 20% of your rent or 30% of your rent or your
Yeah, I think
income on
max
rent.
I think max is like a quarter,
Yeah.
but like
You know,
max.
so like I said, when you have an apartment complex or you have, a homes in an area and they're charging, let's say there's 100 rental or 100 apartment complexes available for rent
Mhm.
and they're charging, $2,100 a month and they have 90 unfilled apartment complexes, like that's a problem,
Right.
you know. And like I said, we saw these landlords, like especially during COVID, where guess what? The whole world was shut down pretty much. Very few people were working, or were starting to transition to work to home.
Hmm.
Um, you kept on seeing these landlords like increase the rent. You
Yeah.
know, like I said, it became an issue when the greed became too much. Because again, as with most things, especially greed, once you have it, you want more of it.
Right.
You know,
So it wasn't the rental situation. It was more the fact that they were charging so much. That was where it became
Ex-
a problem was,
yes.
listen, we've got this pandemic going on.
Mhm.
It is not a normal state of living right now. And
No.
then you're going to try and jack up my rent. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess what? I was paying 1,300. You want me to pay $1,600 next month? I'm like, how is this even legal? How is this even possible? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I said, that's the problem. You know, instead of kind of equalizing the playing field and whatever the case is, you're adding to it more.
Hmm.
Like I said, I know that was a problem here in Sacramento. Like I believe for a good chunk of like a year or two, we were the number one spot in the entire nation where rent was just at an uncontrollable pace. It was increasing at such an amount month to month that people were leaving.
Right.
People were just saying like, "Why would I ever want to do this?" you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, even right now, like I'll look at places for us to move.
Mhm.
Dude, I can't find a decent place, like
No,
more than one bedroom for like almost 2 grand.
yeah,
And it's just, are you kidding? Down the road, close to her new job, there's this nice complex just got built. It's like, oh,
mhm.
I'll take a look. Oh, one bedroom, $2,500. I'm like,
Yeah. And guess what? Guess how many apartment complexes are there available for rent, and none of them are filled because they're charging so much.
probably the
You know
majority. Yeah.
exactly. Who's living there for $2,500 a month? Unless you're a transplant, you're coming from like I know people coming from SF or like the Bay Area where
Hmm.
you get paid a little bit more, maybe. But
Right.
what is the percentage of people who come in our area who are like that, who are willing to pay that? You know,
Right.
because they got away from San Francisco for those numbers, and now they come into another city for the same numbers in a less. There's less to do, less places to go, less things to see.
Yeah. There's less reason for rent to cost that much.
Exactly. And like I said, I think that was part of the problem is we saw the greed take hold. You
Hmm.
know, like I said, and that's where the issue is. Like I said, I don't. I was gonna say, at least for me, I don't see many people have that like the whole rental thing. Is yeah, it does suck, but to me, the worst part is how the system is used against you.
Hmm.
Because, like you said, yeah, I'm paying off some of these property or whatever the case is. Like I said, that's renting. That's literally what the purpose of renting is. You have a spot to be, and you pay the rent. Whatever the case is, of course, it's not going to your whatever. But if I go to the bank and I show them, hey, guess what? I got 6 years, 8, 10 years of no missed payments, paid in full every single month. Can I get a house? They go, no.
Yeah.
You go, well,
That's,
why not? Because you're not building equity. That's the problem.
yeah, you
you
bullshit.
know?
Like, oh, I've been paying
Yeah.
2,200 in rent for 3 years. Can I get approved for this $1,600 mortgage? No.
Yeah. No, sorry, we can't do that.
It's like, what?
And
Oh,
that's what I talk about when the system is not it's not made for people like us for that kind of
mhm.
thing. Like I said, we will always have to it's dark and it's bleak, but we will always have to scrape and grab and claw for these things. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get lucky and you get the genetic lottery and you're born into a family with wealth, whatever the case is, it's not a problem for you.
Right.
you know. But for people like I know your background, like I said, I know where you came from. Like I
Mhm.
said, we will always have to work for what we have, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I said, there is honor in work, whether it be
Right.
hard or just work. You know, like I said, it has to be done at some point.
Mhm.
But like I said, when the system is set up for us to not escape or not be able to move out of some uh out of the realm of owning a home, going on vacations. Because remember, that's isn't that the American dream?
Yeah,
Own a home, have a good job, go on vacations once a year, twice a year, weeks off. You got your kids, you got your nuclear, whatever. Like I said, it's becoming less and less achievable every single year. You
yeah.
know, how are we ever going to escape like the the grasps, the clutches of work? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because wouldn't it be amazing? I go to work for 3 days. I don't have to worry about my my bill or my bills, my rent, my car, whatever the case is. Like I said, that's the dream. You know, I have more time to focus on my family, more time to focus on my hobbies, more time to focus on myself. But instead, we're stuck here 5 days a week, working, grinding our asses off for what? you know, like I said, that is the problem.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I know I saw God, what was it? Might have been a movie. Yeah, it might have been a movie actually.
Hmm.
Uh where it was like some future civilization who had achieved like AI.
Hmm.
And so basically like most of the problems that plagued humanity were gone. They were able to, like world hunger, like
Yeah,
they didn't have to worry about anything.
disease and things like
Right,
that.
right. And then I want to say it was like some doctor talking about a podcast. He's like, we'll get to the point to where as a planet we'll just have like universal like income. Like
Yeah,
you won't have to
UBI.
worry. Yeah, you won't have to worry about anything because either like AI or robotics will take care of everything that needs to be done. So we can all just focus on like
Hmm.
passion and whatnot, and all that excess money can go towards the citizen. And so it's kind of interesting wondering when that point will come where we get so advanced to where the petty problems of humanity just kind of are like, oh yeah, we can solve all this.
That's the thing. It won't.
Yeah.
Because here again, the greed will always outweigh like the cost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the greed will outweigh the needs for the greater good.
Exactly. You know, why make this thing public when we could privatize it? You
Mhm.
know, what's that show you're telling me about? Where like if you die, you can just come back in a new body or something like that?
Oh, altered carbon.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like it's okay for people who have money and can afford continuous lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, and even that show, like anyone could do it, but the mega rich had custom copies of their exact body. Cuz like
Hmm.
if you were poor, you got jammed in a random body.
Yeah.
If at all. You couldn't control that, whereas like the mega rich were like, "Oh, we've got custom made bodies and
Yeah.
they can do this or they've got enhancements like this
Hmm.
and I've got a data backup so even if I die like my consciousness has already been uploaded and saved so I don't have to
Yep.
worry about it." It's like, wow, that yeah, you're right. Despite how far we get, there's always going to be that gap, that divide. So,
Because we're approaching. I know we talked about cyberpunk last week, but the whole point of cyberpunk is that corporations rule essentially the world. You know what I'm saying? Armies, militaries become privatized. You know, hitmen are normal. You know what I'm saying? They can do whatever to the environment. They can do whatever to people, but just as long as the money's there, it's not a problem. We've already reached that point. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that is not kept up with is that we're not advanced.
mhm.
You know, I can't go out and I can't get chrome implants or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But we're already to that point where corporations are already running essentially most of the country. You know, like I said, that somebody's gonna come in here with that script, man, and they're gonna show it in my face, and there's gonna be a gun right behind it. But again, that's just how it is.
This is
You
what
know?
you're going to say on that next podcast.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so there's gonna be a guy off screen. I'm just like, yeah, man, corporations are great. You know, don't worry, don't ever worry about them. No, that. Like I said, we're already at that point. We are already there to where who you vote for, what you put your money to, it goes to one of five different mega corporations. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You know, these subsets of subsets of subsets of these corporations, like what is it? Kroger owns like 80% of all food,
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
like
Like I
things
said,
in the country.
BlackRock, they own
Yeah,
like most real estate.
exactly. How much real estate like if we put a number on that, like billions, possibly trillions, if we put a number on that, how large and how much of control do you think they have of the country just in real estate? You
Yeah.
know, why are there four corporations to control the food and especially the meat we get in the United States? How many times have they covered up issues? We see it now with the damn all the train derailments and things like that. You know, like how many times are these guys gonna skip inspection or gonna whatever just so they can get their product out and keep stuff moving?
Right.
Like I said, these is the problem. This is what's continuing and going to continue to happen. You know,
So it's the human. aspect
Exactly. Like I said,
because and
if we did, sorry,
no, go for
if
it.
so, going to the AI thing,
Mhm.
if we did build AI, it would be the Skynet thing. It
Yeah,
would say, okay, what's best for humans? To get rid of humans because they cause 99% of the issues on the planet.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it would be. And like I said, it's no different now, and it'll be no different in 30 years.
Mhm.
You know, like I said, it's not possible anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's why it's crazy to think about. I think about it a lot actually. One of my favorite shows is Suits,
Oh
the
yeah,
law
yeah,
show,
yeah.
and I think about the way a courtroom is constructed a lot.
Mhm.
You just the way a court case goes down. It's have these two lawyers convince the jury,
Yeah.
not even prove, convince. If you are a good, like, if you can convince them of your
Hmm.
views, of your side, then you could sway them. And because the jury is made up of imperfect people with
Exactly. People with
biases
biases. Yeah.
and agendas and their own ideals and feelings, it's like,
Hmm.
that is insane. Oh, yeah, come and convince them, and, they'll be
Yeah.
guilty or innocent. That blows my mind. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you best believe whoever wants to win. Oh yeah, I'll send you a gift basket to your house. Guess what? There's $10,000 in that gift basket.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to pay off 12, people of a jury, $120,000, whatever the case is, and have to go through these, frivolous lawsuits or whatever, keep having to pay lawyer fees and whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's cheaper to do this. Like I
right.
said, this has been known for a long time. you
Yeah.
know,
That's
like,
I think that's another reason why I love Daredevil so much. Is
oh
because
yeah,
he's
Daredevil's
a
great.
stellar lawyer, and then when the system, gets a hold of the courtroom
Hmm.
and takes it away from him and basically says, "Oh, you can't fight it."
Yeah,
He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go fight outside the courtroom where it will
mm,
work."
exactly.
I
Where I
just
can
it's
make a difference.
exactly everything I can't do in the courtroom, I'll do out there. Uh, It sucks, but it makes for a good show.
That's what I'm saying. You know, if we realistically, if everything worked how it was supposed to, and convictions were done based off of indisputable evidence and things like that, I said we'd be fine. But like you said, people have too many biases. People have too many whatever. Like I said, I don't even want to get into like even that kind of stuff because that could be just 4 episodes on its own.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? How the system is made to make you dumber, make you less aware of the actual goings on, and make you vote or believe the person who is more similar to you. You know,
Right,
like I said, that's even something that's you know extra crazy. You
right.
know, um, but
Yeah,
like I
it's
said, when it comes down to it, like I said, we'll be working unless we hit the lotto or unless um, things start to change or you know more money is just flowing through
mhm,
our economy and things like that. Like I said, we'll always be working.
right.
You know, how many people do I know who are approaching 60, approaching 70, who are still working?
Yeah.
You know, they said, what are they saying? Like by 2036 or 2037 or something like that, like all social security will be gone.
Yeah, that's something I told Abby about that because she wasn't aware of that. I'm like, I'm paying into
Mhm.
something that I will never
That
have,
I will never get.
I will never access because you have been outpacing what you're bringing in.
Mhm.
And it's like, what? Really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's something that also pisses me off. Like, no, the government's not going to take care of you. At least
No.
not for much longer.
No.
So, you got to do things on your own, and which is fine. You are dealt cards in life, and you got to do
Yeah.
your best to make the best of them.
Hmm.
But just realizing how things are going to be, it's like, damn. That's why
I
I'm
said it's
yeah,
buy
it's
your ammo now, ladies and gentlemen.
by the shells or
Yeah.
by the magazines.
The funny thing I saw was like it was a card that you put in your wallet. It was like, oh, in case of like um total like economic collapse, there's like a little piece of like titanium or something in this card. It's worth like $300, something like that. I'm like, dude, if there's total economic collapse, the only currency is bullets.
Yep.
you know, like I
Eh,
said,
think about like any sort of outbreak. Money is going to be totally useless. Like precious metals are going to be totally useless. It's going to
yeah,
be, goods. It's going to be bartering. It's going to be,
hmm
stuff or like fallout, you know.
skills.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
So,
a doctor. I'm a scientist. I can repair this. I can do
yeah.
that.
Like none of that's going to matter. None of the currency is going to matter.
No,
But I did see that too. I just saw a TikTok of it. I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." But
yeah,
if, shit hits the fan, it's not going to do anything.
exactly.
Yeah. One
Like,
thing I did like is Morgan Freeman. I'm not sure if you see, he wears earrings that are worth enough money, so wherever he dies,
oh, he can be
they can
buried.
sell them and pay
Yeah.
for his burial. And I'm like, that's super cool. Apparently, it's like an old like pirate tradition or something.
Yeah. That's why they used to. We always see the pirates with the one like earring because it was just enough gold or whatever it was to,
Yeah,
fully
that
bury them or
is
whatever.
super cool. But yeah, man, see, folks, that's a great reason to subscribe. Because what's going to happen is this podcast is going to take off and we're going to talk about all this for the next 60 years. Because I
hmm
would do that for the next 60 years.
Yeah, easily.
Uh,
Like I said to talk about the things you like.
yeah. Are you kidding?
But,
And, you know, entertain people. And I think, yeah, this is something I could easily just get on, talk about stuff, talk with people and get
to be
feedback.
so lucky.
Yeah. Hey, you can make it happen.
Yeah,
Oh, man. Go down there and comment. Like I
hit
said,
that subscribe.
that's right. Just tap it. Like Happy Gilmore said, just tap it in.
Tap it in. Just
Give
tap it
give it a
in.
little tappy. Tap tap taparoo. Bring it home.
Go
Go to
home, boy.
your
That's your
home.
home.
At your home. God, what a great movie.
That's excellent.
I love that's probably my favorite Adam Sandler movie. I must have watched it. That's one of the few movies I had as a kid. Like when I
hmm
would, because my mom used to have visitation because my
hmm
parents are divorced. And that was one of like 4 movies I had and like a portable DVD player, so I just watched that and
Oh,
continue, and it never got old.
yeah. That was always. I mean, I don't want to say similar because we have like I don't know how many freaking DVDs we got.
Mhm.
Like we still have like pretty much all the old VHSs I had when I was a kid, which is like there's probably 100 something there. Um, but like yeah, every time like summer vacation that movie we'd watch it, it was being like on TBS or TNT or something like that. I would always sit there and watch it, all the
Right.
time. I love that movie when I was growing up. It's such a classic.
Yeah. It's so much fun. Like, yeah. God, now I want to go golfing. It's been a long time. Yeah.
So when I got bad shoulders, I can't golf like that.
Hey, man, that's why we go to whatchamacallit, Top Golf, where the golfing is just like the activity you do while you eat and drink.
Oh yeah.
They got music playing, you're just hanging out with people. So the golfing is just something to do while you eat and drink. So,
See, I'm too afraid that I'm gonna be followed by a hitman to that spot, and he's gonna go, "Oh yeah, we'll make sure that like all of the first floor ones are he can't get in, so that we have to go in like the second, third floor, and then someone's gonna spill a drink, and they're gonna fall back, and it's gonna knock off a ball, and it's gonna roll under my foot, and whatever. Like,
I mean, they do have little safety nets right there off the edge.
you think I can fall into that and be safe? What is the quote from The Office? Like, Michael's asking Phyllis, like, can she fit in a rowboat? Can she fit in a rowboat without it capsizing? Like, listen, that's not happening, man. I'm going overboard immediately. It'll be like Lion King. I'll be holding on, you know.
Death by golf ball on your
Yeah.
headstone. It'd be kind of funny.
God, death by balls. What a dream.
No, that's the American dream.
There you
Death by
go.
balls. Oh man. Wow. God, I love Top Golf. It's so good. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I've never been. I've only ever heard good things. So like I said, maybe one of these days I'll hit it up or something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We'll have to go. It's a lot of fun with like just like a small group of people, like
Mhm.
4 or 5 or 6 people, because you got to pay for like the whole room. So,
Yeah.
but
Interesting.
hey man, I kind of want some Taco Bell, like a quesadilla.
Uh, my stomach is not doing so well today, so I'm big chilling.
Yeah, sticking
Yeah.
sticking to the smoothies and Powerade.
I before we hopped on, I was like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then like I sat there for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I got off and I was like, okay, and I popped like 2 Imodium. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need this. So because I've been doing the fast thing, you know,
Oh, when you get up.
or not when I get up, but like usually, well, I guess technically, but like at work, I'll eat from like usually 1 to 7,
Hmm.
and then after that, I'll fast until the next day, do whatever the case is. But when I transition from Saturday to my day off, Sunday, I don't eat for like 24 hours, pretty much.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, yeah. So when I do eat, my body's just like, that's gotta go. You
Right.
know?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like,
Fasting in terms of like weight loss, like
mhm,
it's crazy how much. Yeah, because I don't eat for like the first 3 or 4 hours when I get up,
mhm,
and it's crazy because and especially if you do any sort of like physical activity during that
yes.
period, all
Yeah.
your body has to burn off is what you already have.
Mhm.
So it does wonders. And then you combo that with like something carbonated, like
Yeah.
a 0 calorie like carbonated soda or a sparkling water or like black
Mhm.
coffee or something.
Something to give you a little bit more kind of like
Yeah, because
gas and volume.
carbonation gives you the like false feeling of being full,
Mhm.
and then black coffee kind of stirs off that hunger for a while.
Yeah.
So hell yeah,
Yeah, that's what I used to do when I used to weightlift.
yeah.
We would do like 3 weeks of just like main macros, protein, fat, carbs.
Hmm.
It would mainly just be fat and carbs, you know. And then after that, when you start to actually start working out, you start weightlifting, you switch to protein.
Hmm.
Yeah, you do majority protein for your meals, majority protein and carbs, some fat, of course, because your body is being tricked into like supplementing that even more, And now, okay, now we're gonna still be burning it off like crazy. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
remember I dropped like 13 or 14% body fat just in like 2 months from doing that or something like that.
Damn,
Yeah, it was stupid. Like I said,
that's wild.
that was an old way to trick your body, but now I'm old and fat, so
Hey
I
man, you're
try
not
to
old. Get at it. With the way medical advances are going, hey man, we're gonna live to like 130.
oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm old and fat. Hey man, you're not old.
That's how,
Yeah,
I didn't
thanks, man.
even know. I didn't even listen to the rest. I just
It's
heard
all
old
good.
first.
No, it's all right, man. Listen, it's been that way for a long time. I've been a
No, 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 no.
large gentleman.
That's not what I meant. That's just everyone these days. Abby will say the same shit. She's like,
Uh,
I'm so old. And I'm like, out of here. You're like,
ah,
if you're under 80, you're not old.
yeah, that's fair. I like to make the jokes now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm close to hitting 30, so it's like,
No, it feels like you're old, man. Get up and your
yeah, oh
back
yeah,
hurts, and you're like,
dude.
ah.
Fucking, I I I messed up my calf pretty bad last summer. Um, which is part of the reason why I like kind of started wanting to lose a little bit more weight because
Hmm.
usually my injuries tend to last a long time, but
Hmm.
I usually recover for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I would say like 90. Like I think the worst one is my knee, which I injured uh years ago. That's still like when it gets cold, that's when I really feel it is like when it gets like nice and chilly at night. That's when it starts to like sting a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Goddamn, man. You keep talking about these injuries, and you're trying to convince me you're old. I won't buy it.
no, no.
No, no, no,
Listen,
no. I know, I know. Keep
but
going.
I know how weight affects that too. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I think about like, man, what if I was like 100 pounds lighter? Whatever the case is, like how bad would I feel?
Hmm.
Um, or would I feel even better? Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, I really messed up my calf last year, and like I think I was just super dehydrated one day. I ended up having like cramp in the middle of the my sleep, and just like my calf was on fire. It's like I've re-aggravated like a couple times since then.
Hmm.
But dude, like it was bad last week and like it was messing up my whole knee. And I'm like, dude, this is awful, man. Like because I have to baby it. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
can't like put a lot of pressure on it, so I'm like walking real dainty on it, and like now I'm compensating on my right side because my left side is all light, and I can't really do much on there. It's just like, man, you think about that, and like I think about people like these lifelong injuries and stuff like that, or like major surgeries they had, and things like that. Like, dude, how are these people feeling? You know, I'm like, fuck. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've
It
been trying to take it easy down there, and you know,
that's good, man. Not the injury part, but like
yeah, man,
taking
your
it
calf,
easy.
dude, that's great, bruh.
Wreck the other one. No, but I'm glad you're taking it easy. And yeah, I feel like it only takes like one injury or one event at the right time to really like, whoa, okay, I need to figure my shit out, you know?
Yeah.
It,
Hmm.
because I mean, I used to go to the, I used to work out pretty regularly,
Hmm.
kind of off and on. And then recently, since the start of this year, I've been pretty hard on like, all right, dieting and exercising because I, I want to say it was probably what 2021, yeah, the end of 2021.
Hmm.
uh I when I lost my stepdad because
Hmm.
like COVID put him in the hospital, and then from there it just got progressively worse. I was like,
Yeah.
man, he was in like his 50s, and he wasn't like crazy out of shape or anything. He didn't do anything in life. Like he didn't have any like like bad habits. Wasn't like a heavy drinker or anything. Didn't smoke,
Yeah.
you know? And so it just like put things into perspective like, man, anything can really happen at like any point.
Yeah.
So if there's anything I can do now early on to kind of set myself up for making sure that when something does happen, I'm in the best possible position to deal with it.
Yeah. To recover. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. And so yeah, no, I get it, like I said. Or again, like an injury, like something happens, you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
never think of that happening. But now that it
No.
has, like, okay, let's make sure it doesn't again,
Yeah.
you know?
Because like I said, for me, like I know a man of my size and my stature, like I know how bad leg, knee, joint injuries can affect me. You know, so I do my best to minimize that shit. And like when it gets bad, I'm just like, yeah, dude, that sucks. You know,
Right.
like I said, I'm trying to just like take it easy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to walk more and whatever. But like when this thing gets aggravated, man, dude, it's hard.
Yeah.
And like the thing I'm afraid of most is like surgery. You
Mhm.
know, even I know surgeries nowadays for that kind of stuff is like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm worried like could that not cripple me, but could that put me in more pain in
Mhm.
the future
Yeah.
instead of just like taking it easy now, trying to like take care of it more now, and instead of
Right.
just being an asshole and like running off it and doing all this dumb shit and making it even worse. I'm just like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
very
I
particular about that.
I feel like knee surgeries nowadays, you could probably do most of them awake.
I
Just
mean,
like covered, you know?
yeah, my
Like,
mom had her hip and knee replaced. I
mhm.
think she had her knee replaced first. She was up and walking in like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you know, and then her hip was like a month.
Right.
Like it's nothing. Um,
That's more so just you don't want it to get to that point.
exactly.
Yeah.
So even though I know it'll probably be that way in the future,
Mhm.
like that's just how your body is. Like I'll lose cartilage down there, and
Right. Yeah.
I'll get the shots and whatever the case is. But eventually, like, yeah, you probably should get knee surgery. I'm like, okay, I'll go for knee surgery. But here's the thing: when we get into the cyberpunk era, and I can afford chrome kneecaps, I will put
Yep.
those in.
I, I
Absolutely.
I've said this my entire life. If I have to lose an arm at some point, as long as we're in the era of I can get an Anakin Skywalker arm, I am
Hmm.
totally okay with it. I am
See,
perfectly fine.
my arm replacement would be uh Venom Snakes from Metal Gear Solid 5, because
I
you
didn't
get
get that
the
far in it. Oh,
yeah.
wait, wait,
So
wait. Yeah. Okay, 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 okay.
it's an arm. It's called the arm of Jehuti. It like you can like shoot it out and
You
like,
said Jaboopy?
hey man, don't you're reading the wrong script. um, but you can shoot it out, and you can like fly and like grab enemies and like pull them back to you and stuff. That I want
That's
that
cool.
100%. You get like the sonar upgrade. You punch the ground, it'll tell you like how far like things are from you and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Yeah, 100%. Give me that all
That's cool.
day.
Yeah. Like I said, that'll be, that'll be cool. But yeah, I know. Like I watch, you know who David Goggins is?
Hmm.
The He'll talk about, he runs every day, and I know on the one hand it's good for you, but on the other hand it's terrible for you because he talks about how like both his knees are just like
Yeah.
destroyed, and
Yes. Yes.
that's why I know that's one benefit over like elliptical
Hmm.
because it's very low impact, so it's better on your knees, it's better on your legs and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's just like hearing him talk about it, it's just like, yeah, you got to accept it at one of those times. Like at some point, like, all right, I'm gonna wake up and pop my Tylenol, and it's
See, that's
just,
crazy to me.
yeah.
Because as with everything, it's moderation.
Hmm.
You know, like I think David Goggins is the biggest outlier because that dude like lives and breathes like this whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like to him, there is nothing else, and that's fine. You know, that's his life. He can kind of do what he wants. You know, but like, no, no, duh, your knees are going to be scrapped. You know what I'm saying? At 40 years old because you're running 7 miles every day. You know, I've seen that video. A light day for him is like 7 miles, 2 hours of stretching and all this and that stuff. I'm like, dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
You know, that is not a normal response to anything.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
um, like I said, humans are we're not like we're long distance runners, but we're not doing it every single day.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
there's
like I said,
definitely
then
better ways to do cardio that's not as damaging to your knees.
exactly. And it's like, damn, dude, you know, like,
Yeah. It's crazy
I get,
because I mean, I'll wake up if it's like 2 days of
mhm,
straight like back pain for me. I'll be like, okay, I need to switch up sleeping or something because there's no way
yeah,
I'm doing this like all week.
yeah,
Like, nope. And yeah, so I couldn't imagine just every day waking up and being like, all right, my entire body's in pain. Let's go
yeah.
do more of what's causing pain. It's like,
It's it's why they outlawed for like Olympic style lifting
mhm,
in high schools. It's why they outlawed snatches
what
because
is that?
yeah, so it's the one where you have the full arm stretch out like that, you know, because you have the one where the bar's close to you and you pull it up to your chin, and that's a clean and jerk is what that's called.
Hmm.
But a
So
snatch is from
when you flip it up and
yeah, but
okay,
a snatch is from a squatted position. You get full extension of your arms, and you bring the weight up over your head, and you lock it in your shoulders like that.
got it. Okay.
Um, but they've been outlawing that for like years now because it's just so dangerous. Even with lightweight,
Hmm.
even with like a bar, you know what I'm saying, just 45 pounds worth of cases, it is extremely dangerous.
Right.
Um, like I said, it's why people are pushing like the whole no deadlift thing
Hmm.
because most people do not understand the form of a deadlift and they actually use their back,
Right.
which causes injuries. You know, like I said, if taught well and moderated, you're fine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's these guys who are spun off this nonsense, these fitness guys on TikTok and YouTube and whatever who are like, you're gonna need to do this many sets of this a day, this many sets of this a day. You're only gonna eat this, you're only gonna drink this, you're gonna go out and you're gonna spend $300 on my protein drink, you know, just like off for
Yeah.
one. You know, but like I said, just be safe, take your time. If you need an instructor, get an instructor. You know what I'm saying? It's not these things are not out of reach anymore.
I know
You know.
when it turned like later on getting a gym membership, I'm definitely gonna get an instructor because
Mhm.
I don't do deadlifts because when I
No,
did try them, I'm like, I only feel this in my back, and that's wrong.
no,
I know
yes,
that's not
100%.
I know that's not how I'm supposed to like what I'm supposed to feel. I know it works your back in terms of the whole exercise, but I should not
Yeah.
just be feeling it in my back. So
Yes.
I was like, nope, I'm gonna pass on that until I can
Mhm.
get somebody who's like, hey, this is how you do it,
Yeah. They said the best rule of thumb, man, is just body weight.
Yeah.
You know, they said you if you use your body weight for a good chunk of your exercise, you're good.
I mean,
You
it's
know.
really all you if you like I've got a little thing you hook onto a door, like
Hmm.
panel, and you can do
Yeah.
pull-ups. You can do push-ups, pull-ups, like crunches, and then
Yep.
sure go for a run. Do you really need anything more than that? Not really.
No.
You
They
could
said unless you're like building physique,
right.
because that's the only way you'd actually build muscle on top.
Or
You know what
like
I'm saying?
targeting certain muscle groups, then you need
Yes.
like either a machine or certain,
Weights,
exercises.
free
Yeah.
weights, whatever. Yeah. No, that's understandable. Like I said, if you're just trying to like tone down the body and whatever the case is, just body
Mhm.
weight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I forget what it is, but for like every 100 pounds you generate like that many newtons of force at a time or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I know. What's the King Arthur movie? The actor Charlie. God, he's
The
in
guy
the
who,
he's in The Gentleman, the movie The Gentleman. Um,
yeah,
he played King Arthur,
I
and
know who you're talking about. He
they
was in Sons of Anarchy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
the main guy, his name is like Charlie something. I
Yeah,
remember
I know.
somebody interviewed him, and I think he did like 95% body weight to get in that physique. He's like, I did like 1,000 push-ups a day and like 1,000
Hmm.
crunches, and that's all he
Yeah,
did, and like pull-ups and planks and stuff. I'm like, dang, and he looks crazy shredded in that.
yeah,
Not like big and obnoxious, but just cut. I'm
yeah.
like, wow. So that, yeah, just thinking
Because
back on that.
yeah, you got to remember that's the stuff that we were doing thousands of years ago.
Yeah,
We were picking stuff up. We were moving it from one spot over here. We were chasing down food. We were sharpening things. We were climbing trees. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like,
As Mimir says in God of War Ragnarok, if you want the physique of a god boy, you better pick heavy things up and put them back down a lot.
yes, like I said, that's all it is. Like I said again with your body. You're generating so many newtons of force. Like, just counteract that, and it's perfect. you know, if you have the room for it, it's easily done.
Right.
You know, They said if you can't do push-ups, start with push-ups on your knees.
Hmm.
If you can't do those, do planks until you can.
Yeah.
I said these things take time. Like, it's not an overnight thing.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the toughest thing and that's why people probably don't exercise as much as they should, is because the way I equate it is like, imagine working a job that you know you're getting paid for, but you don't know when you're getting paid.
That's fair.
Like,
That's actually a good way of putting it.
like you have an hourly rate, but you never know when your paycheck's coming. And it's kind of
Mhm.
like the gym. You go every day, you're doing something, you're putting the work in, but you don't know in the future, like when the day comes, you're going to look in the mirror and be like, oh, wow, I look great. And so that's kind of how it feels like. It's going to be really hard working when you don't know when that eventual result is going to come.
Yeah. No. Oh, who was it? I think it was Terry Crews. I think he said, like, even if he doesn't feel like going to the gym, or the case is, like I said, he will still dress up, he'll still get all this stuff, and he'll still go to the gym. He might not do anything. He might not, like, hit weights, or, get on the treadmill or stretch, whatever the case is, but it's the act of continuing to go even if you're not, because that helps you build up your discipline,
Hmm.
you know? That
Yeah.
helps you build up your whatever. Like I said, sometimes discipline starts, like I said, outside of the gym. Like, for me, like I said, it's always been food. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So to eat less, sort of cases, that's my discipline. You know, and once you tame that, it's easier to kind of start taming other things.
Right. And I mean,
So
that's 90% of the battle is getting there.
yes,
There was another guy. He's like, a client that hired me to help him. He's like, go to the gym, but you're not allowed to work out more than 5 minutes.
yeah,
So he'd go work out for 5 minutes, and then he's like, oh, this isn't doing anything. It's like, no, it's building your discipline, because motivation's going to run out in like 2 weeks.
hmm, yes,
It's building your discipline to just get you there. Then once you're no longer despairing in the morning, like, oh, I got to go to the gym. Like, once you're actually there, you're going to work out.
yeah,
So it makes a lot of sense. It's just building that foundation to then, put you in the right mindset for success.
exactly.
Wow, look at this. Hashtag inspirational,
There you go.
motivational, and something else that rhymes with.
Recreational.
There we go. I was thinking of another word.
Oh,
Give me another
what?
null word. Bwayne. Congregational.
There you go. Or transitional.
Transition from the couch to the gym.
There you go. Well, they have the. Speaking of that, they have the couch to 5K.
Huh?
That's like, actually, it's a good, like running kind of program, to like get you started, like, into running,
Interesting. I've
even
never
if,
heard of that.
yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a runner. I'll
Mhm.
walk all day. I will
Yeah.
not run a fucking step in my life. I'd rather die. Like I said, I walk all day at work.
Running
I have no
is.
problem with that.
I used to hate running, and I really don't know what made the transition.
Mhm.
It's one of those things. It feels god awful during, and then afterward, that nice, like, workout high or whatever. That's
Mhm.
nice. But I don't know if there's ever been a time where I've been running and been like, wow, this is great. It's always,
Yeah.
uh,
Like I said, I'll sprint, you know.
oh,
That's
yeah.
that's as far as I'll go. I'll sprint. I'll give you 80 yards, man, or 70 yards. I'll give you that. Anything past that, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just kill me, or if there's zombies, I'd rather just fight the zombies off as best I can.
Just turn around and bring it on.
Yeah. Just I'd rather go blows with you right now, man.
You said blow?
Yeah, fight. And then afterward we'll go blows.
Hey, man, those zombies don't have any teeth.
Oh, they're giving that no denture adventure? That hashtag granny gum job? Oh no.
Hey, man, that's not in your script.
Oh, you're damn right it is. I'm in there, man.
Oh, man. Oh, running. Yeah. Plus, oh, God, I mean, depending on where you live,
It
try,
could be dangerous.
yeah, you try running with some like headphones in, and then you end up getting stabbed or thrown in a van or
Yeah,
something.
I'd never listen. I'm not one of those guys, man. I hate walking around with headphones in. I can't stand it. Like I
Yeah.
said, the only time I feel comfortable is when I'm at home, and I have something within reach. Because like I said,
Yeah.
that's just how I grew up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I agree. And I feel like the more I talk to people, the more common it is. Dude, I've
Mhm.
I've always got to sit with my back to the door at a restaurant.
Yep.
I've always got to see like people coming in. I've always got to again have my ear. I don't even like wearing a hood in public. If it's raining,
No,
I'll leave my hood off.
me
Like if
too.
I'm walking in like a parking lot or something because I need
100%.
I need my peripheral vision. Otherwise, I'm gonna,
100%.
be super anxious. So I don't know what it is.
I said I don't like sitting next to windows. I don't like none of that stuff.
Mhm.
I
Or
can't stand it.
if I'm walking down the sidewalk and somebody is close enough behind me that I can see them, I'll pull off and pretend to look in a window and let them pass so I can
Mhm.
walk like behind them because I'm like, I don't want you. Yeah. I don't know. Because I've never had anything happen to me,
No,
but it's just
but
like it's
it's
always
because
been
you're cautious.
yeah, it's
You know
always
what I'm
been
saying?
like an instinctual thing. Like even when I was
Yes.
like 10,
Mhm.
if I was like walking down the sidewalk, small town, I'd be out alone. It was like, nope, I gotta let this person pass because it just felt weird, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, your biggest protection to that kind of stuff is that anxious part of your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the lizard brain. You know, I don't like things around me. I don't like things, intervening in my space because I don't trust it.
Right.
You know?
You said I got two brains.
Yes. You have your G brain, your lizard brain, then you have your I forgot what the other one's called, but that's like your thinking brain. You know what I'm saying? That's the brain that has evolved to like, process and,
Yeah.
do complex whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I know it's
The,
back here. The lizard one is like back here towards the base. It's like
yeah.
this little small area.
It's on your amygdala.
I love that word amygdala or
It's great.
medulla
Yeah.
oblongata.
Medulla oblongata.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Uh, you know what's
Yeah.
crazy? Just thinking back to like advanced civilizations, the
Mhm.
Predator movies, when they
Great.
go, when they do the later ones and they show a little bit of like the Predator planet,
Yeah.
their tech is super advanced.
Mhm.
But as a civilization, like we're a bunch of hunters. That's it. Like we're super advanced, but we're hunters, you know?
Oh man, if I know, like I said, for Predator being like my favorite movie of all time, I feel like it should know more like lore wise.
Hmm.
But if I remember correctly, they had either another species on their planet with them, or they had like some type of allegiance or alliance. That's kind of what got them to be so like hyper like tech focused.
Interesting.
And then they either killed them off or they enslaved them. I don't remember.
Hmm.
Honestly, it's I remember vaguely reading something like that, but um yeah, like it doesn't make sense from like what we know from civilizations where a society that's strictly built on like on war and like fighting and honor and stuff like that, like you said, where would they have the time to progressively get better with technology,
Right. I mean,
um
maybe they're just like, alien Spartans, like like Spartans, like Spartans.
Oh, I see what you're
Like,
saying.
they're violent and gruesome and like just unparalleled, but they
Yeah,
still had like politics and,
yeah,
they still had their way of government, so to speak. So maybe it's something
that's
like
fair, I
that.
guess.
Maybe
Yeah,
not all predator species are like warriors, you know?
yeah. I actually don't know that for 100%. Again, only the movies kind of. I know there's like comics and stuff where like they
Yeah.
go into that stuff a little bit more, but yeah,
Might be
I
cool to
like
look into.
you know, what is the thing called where you harness a Dyson sphere,
Oh,
where you harness the
so
power
good.
of a star for like energy. Like that's like what a like a class like 4 or 5 civilization or something like that, where
Hmm.
like energy is not like there's no problems with energy because a star will keep your people alive for billions of years, and you could just go, okay, we'll go to another star,
Right.
you know.
Did you
Um,
watch that movie oh, Moon
oh, Moonfall?
yeah, that one?
No.
It's not a great movie,
Uh-huh.
but since you're into stuff like that, watch it. It's a fun ride. It's one of
Because
those
that's
like, you know what? The premise isn't great, but it's also
mhm,
really cool to watch.
interesting. Because
Like
did they have what Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson?
Patrick
I think.
Wilson,
Yeah.
uh was it Halle Berry?
I could have swore I thought I saw Halle Berry, but maybe
Yeah,
I'm
you might be right.
misremembering.
It's also got a guy from Ant-Man. Ant-Man's best friend.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the actor's name.
Is his business partner. Ant-Man's business partner with the whole
Yeah.
security system.
Hmm.
Uh, but he does
Luis?
yeah, Luis.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know the actor's name, but he's in it.
No.
He's really good.
He was also good in that movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg.
I never watched that one.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love it because like it's all like sniper related. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And there's like yeah, conspiracy kind of stuff. It's great. It's like one
Yeah.
of those just like it's one of those movies that's like to its core, it's not like amazing, but it
Mm.
does just a lot of stuff so just well enough that you kind of go, okay, I like this movie. Yeah.
Okay. I might have to watch it. I know it's been out
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yes, 2008 I think is when
Yeah.
it came
Oh my
out.
god. Dude, you know the movie R.I.P.D.
Oh, with
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges.
True Grit guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Oh my god, what a great movie, True Grit. But
Oh, True Grit's amazing.
uh
The OG is even better.
I
The
didn't
OG
watch
is
the
like
OG.
yeah,
The more recent one was my first taste.
yeah, the 2010. Yeah, that's
I I,
an excellent film.
I
Excellent
remember I
film.
watched it with my dad and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but my God, what a great film. Um so we watched R.I.P.D. and that's been out for years. I never
Yeah,
watched it. Terrible.
it's not great.
It's like they said, hey, Men in Black is doing great. Let's do something worse. That's what it is. It's Men in Black, just slightly different
Yeah, just
and
worse
worse.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah. And then I saw they made a second one. I'm like, okay, I remember this first one not doing well.
no.
And they still made a second one. So that was surprising.
Somebody. It's like those movies where like that come out every now and then, where it's just like the whole movie is just famous actors. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, mm-hmm.
And like
Yep.
they use it as like a market for whatever. Like I feel like that's what those movies are. You know,
Ooh,
because at the time, like
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds was like becoming large. Jeff Bridges has been a certified like A-list, actor
Gods
for
of
a long
Egypt.
time. Oh,
You remember
it's
that
what
one?
Gerard Butler.
It's got a lot of good actors in it.
Oh God, that movie was something else. He's made me sick. Oh no.
Oh man, I never watched that one, but I've seen
I think
like
I think I
clips of it.
watched I think I watched 20 minutes of it, dude. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm turning
Yeah.
off because I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah. It
No.
oof. Big oof.
Yes,
Big no bueno. So
but I'm gonna talk about a Western real quick here. 310 to Yuma.
I've never
It's
seen
got
it.
so that's another movie that had that's an older movie that got redone. I
Mhm.
think 2000
I
I want to say
remember
2006, 7, 8. I don't remember, but it's got Russell Crowe, it's got
mhm.
Christian Bale, um, it's got a couple other, big name actors in there. Fantastic film.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's one of the movies that I watched like kind of during COVID, like just like staying in the house, like I need something to do. Let's watch a couple movies. Where the case is, somebody recommend that to me, along with like a couple other westerns, like Unforgiven, which is one of the best westerns I've ever seen.
Hmm.
And I'm usually not a western guy, but man, I watch those two, dude. They're so good. I highly recommend both of
Okay.
those. Unforgiven was 1993 or 1994. I believe it
Oof.
was like one
Wow.
of Clint Eastwood's last like big western films. It's got Morgan Freeman. It's got there's another big name actor, and I can't remember his name, but he
Hmm.
plays like the sheriff of the town or whatever. Great film, highly recommend. And 310 to Yuma, like I said, there is an OG, but I prefer the remake from like 2006, 2007, or whatever the case is. Like I
Right.
said, excellent films.
Yeah, I remember my
Highly
dad
recommend.
talked about 310 to Yuma when the remake came out. He's like, "Oh, it was fantastic," but I think I
Yes.
was a little too young to appreciate what it was. So,
Hmm.
uh, God, what is? I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's got Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy, and they're moonshine runners.
Oh, Lawless.
Lawless. There we. Oh my God, what a movie!
Interesting.
That one's incredible. Yeah, that was. Oof. I mean, it's a rough one to watch, but yeah. Or
That's good.
I don't remember who the girl in it is. I don't remember.
It says it looks like Jessica Chastain.
Sure, whoever that is.
She was Murph in Interstellar. She was the when she got older.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, Interstellar. We're not gonna go off on that train.
No, it's yeah, that's something you can talk about. Like I feel like you could talk
Yeah.
about that forever.
Uh, Dude, I can't tell you how many times like Interstellar and then Matrix. I feel like
Oh,
we could do a
Matrix.
whole podcast just on breaking down the Matrix.
Mm,
I
again,
remember doing that like when I lived with my brother. We'd sit on the couch and talk for like 3 or 4 hours about Matrix. Oh, what did this mean? When did Neo become the one? What did this have to do with this? It's like,
if I told you the Matrix was just the movie version of the Bible, would you believe me? This man got his mind blown.
I'd have to rewatch the whole series or just the first movie.
The whole series.
All right. See, I'd have to go and rewatch it all now because now I got to pay attention and like interesting.
Yeah. Whole chosen one thing and what's their ship's name?
The Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar
Hmm.
again, like a lot of not literature, but a lot of like, you know, references and takings of like the Bible and
And then
you
yeah,
know.
his name's Morpheus.
Mhm.
Yeah. Interesting. Now I got to go watch them all. Oh no, I have to watch amazing movies again.
God, see, God, what a pity, man.
I know.
I know. I was just talking about The Matrix too, like earlier. I was like, God, they're so good.
Yeah, those are other ones. They don't get old. I could watch them like I could watch them all once a week. Like, yep,
Mhm.
I love these, all of
Yeah.
them. Just
First one's great.
oh yeah. Second one's probably my favorite.
The second one is good.
It's got a good balance of like story building, but then also a lot of action,
Yes.
which for me is
Yeah.
just great. Like I love seeing Neo go God mode and just
Mhm.
yeah.
I like the third one where he's fighting all the Mr. Smiths, and
That's the
there's like
second one.
that. Is that the second one?
Yeah, where he's fighting them in like the tennis court or whatever or the park.
Yeah. There's like hundreds of them or something like that.
Yep, and he picks up the pole out of the ground and
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's the
I
second one.
man, I could have sworn that was the third one.
Third one's where
But
he's fighting the Smith at the end in the rain.
yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's
Oh,
what I was
okay,
talking
okay,
about.
okay, okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. So I did confuse it too, but that they have that conversation with each other, where Smith is like, "Why do you keep like, why do you keep going?
yeah.
What is it like that keeps you moving? Why don't you just quit? Just die already." Um, and then he says like, "Well, why do you, whatever?" And Neil's like, "Because I choose to." I'm like,
Right. It
"Yes."
also shows the uh the flaw in the system of a program not being able to understand humans 100%, and that's why they're perfect. When the
Mhm.
architect talks about the perfect matrix, it keeps failing
Yeah.
because this machine is not able to completely capture what it means to be human.
Mhm.
And so why the element of choice is so important, or the illusion of choice and whatnot.
Yes.
And so yeah, that's such a great oh. It, I
It,
love the way he says because I choose to.
mhm.
Because it's not even like confident. It's more like I'm defeated, like I'm beaten and battered, but I still have the choice to continue on, so I will.
Yep.
It's oh
It's the it's like my favorite like Qui-Gon Jinn quote is from the book Master and Apprentice.
mhm,
It follows Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, like obviously, becoming his Padawan, kind of like, teaching him and kind of growing up with him. Um, but they talk about the light, like Obi-Wan asks him, like, what is it about the light side that you like so much, or like that you're whatever. Um, and Qui-Gon's like, I don't choose the light side because like, it's I'm gonna win something from it. The cosmic game. I don't win anything because I choose the light or whatever.
mhm,
Even if the world is darkness and there'll be never be more light than there is dark. Like I said, I will choose the light every time because it is the light.
mhm.
Like regardless of whatever. Like that's what it is. I don't. That's just deep down. That's who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There's no inherent benefit, but because
No.
it is good, because it is the right, like I will always
Yeah.
go that way.
So there's just something. Just when you think
Ah,
about it like that, like is it harder to be good or is it harder to be evil? You know?
oh, it's much harder to be good,
Yeah. So
especially in
think.
times of struggle or suffering.
Yeah.
That's really, I think, like that's when you see somebody's true nature, is when they're backed into a corner, when they're
Mhm.
going through something traumatic, or when they're really suffering. You see that default of, okay, who are they at their core?
Yeah. Exactly. You know.
So
Said, how many times are you tempted every day to do bad or to turn the other cheek when something bad is happening, or somebody left some money on the ground on accident? It's easy to pick it up. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's easy to do those things, but it's hard to know that they probably might need it more than I do.
Hmm.
They whatever the case. Like I said, those small things.
Right.
I talk about this not all the time, but enough to where it's becoming almost like a meme at work about how there's no more accountability in the world because somebody will hit your parked car and instead of leaving a note, they'll just drive off.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like I said, instead of dealing with the consequences, you know, that you should be dealing with, you avoid them completely. And guess what? That's coming out of my pocket. Now I don't get to eat this week because of whatever, I
Right.
got to pay the deductible or whatever the hell it is on my insurance. Like I said, you always do the right thing when you can, you know what I'm saying? Which should be almost all the time,
Right.
you know? Um, I said, when, you it's better to do it when it's all this other thing. It's 'cause when you know you're licked, you know what I'm saying? You know you're licked, but you still go through with it anyways.
Hmm.
You're gonna get in trouble for this. You might
Yep.
be charges or money, or whatever the case is. You do it anyways because that is what should be done.
Right.
You
There's
know?
no way out for you.
No,
Like there's no getting out of it and then continuing to do the right thing anyway.
exactly.
Right.
Like I said, even though you know you're licked, you keep doing it. I said, that's something that I firmly believe in. Said you, or I guess another way of putting it is you take your lumps.
Right.
That's something that I've kind of coined to lately is you mess something up, you didn't do what you're supposed to do, you take your lumps. You know, you get what you get, you move on, you
Right.
know, but
Yep.
you deal with it. You don't let it sit there and whatever. Cause I tell myself I don't believe in karma, but also at the same time I do. So
I mean, it doesn't even have to be karma. It can be
no,
physics.
yeah,
Equal, any action has an equal and opposite reaction. So, if you do something, it's going to come back in some way.
hmm
And, the surest way to make sure that doesn't happen is to just do what you feel is right in the moment.
yes,
And if you do that and you do your best, then there's not much more you can do.
nope,
Yeah, you can feel good about yourself knowing that, what, I did with what I felt was right.
exactly.
So,
Can you put your head down and go to bed and be completely content with what you did that day.
Yeah.
That should be your answer.
Yeah.
So.
That's right, folks. Do what's right. And you know what's right now? Subscribing.
Hitting that subscribe button, baby.
That's right. Going down and commenting. What do you think about the Matrix or retirement or the way the world is? What do you think the right thing to do right now is? Should I get Taco Bell?
Or if we should eat the rich.
Should we eat the rich? Not literally.
No, literally.
Oh, just cook them.
Yeah, no, don't even cook them. Just cut them open, man. Just take a chunk.
Yep. Just
you look like Gollum with that fish.
I know. Oh,
we wanted raw and wriggling.
Oh God, this was a good one. I hope everyone enjoyed. Had fun.
Yes,
I know.
Enjoy your Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday, folks. When this goes up, it'll probably be like Tuesday. So happy Tuesday if you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you enjoyed the Last of Us finale. I know I'm going to.
Yes, I will play catch up here.
Yeah, and then Mandalorian on Wednesday.
Oh, dude, did you watch episode 2?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll because we'll talk about it next week.
Yep.
We'll save that. We'll table this for next week.
We gotta control ourselves because
episode 2 was.
I'm about to. No.
I cannot do this any harder, man. That's how good episode 2 was.
That ring can't get any tighter. Anyway,
not the O-ring. It's as loose as a goose.
That's right. All right, folks. Y'all have a great week. Stay safe. Yes. Have fun. Do the right thing. And we'll see you in the next one.
Catch y'all later.
Oh, man.